The psychology of professional selling. Paul, I think if there was ever a single truth that summed up business and sales together, is that nothing ever happens in business until somebody starts selling something.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
You can have the best computer systems, you can have the finest products. All these things are useless if an organisation does not have a professional sales force to market their products. And not just to market the products, but to actually close the order and secure the sale. In other words, business won't survive, a business can't produce unless somebody actually sells the product or the service.
So I know that in your seminars you teach participants that selling is not telling. Can you elaborate on that?
So many sales courses are consumed with teaching salespeople the 99 ways of closing the sale. Now, don't get me wrong, closing is critical, but unless you have established professional credibility and established a need for your product or a service, you're just like everyone else out there. And so selling is not just about getting out there and telling people what you've got, but establishing a need, establishing rapport, building a relationship. That's what the psychology of professional selling is all about.
You've done some pretty extensive research, Paul, into selling strategy and, of course, global sales trends. From your experience, what are some of the major challenges for sales teams these days?
When all is said and done, it's pretty hard to distinguish one product and service from another. The great majority of products and services being offered today are of such an excellent quality, the decision to purchase or not purchase is often based on the relationship of the sales professional and his or her organisation, rather than the product itself. Today's successful sales organisations realise that the critical difference between making a sale and not are the professional skills of their salespeople. The psychology of professional selling is a sales training program that helps every salesperson understand the psychology behind every successful sale and the sales relationships that are so critical in securing long-term business.
So therefore, is this program a one-stop sales program for all types of sales professionals?
As with all of our other training, we invest a great amount of time customising our programs for our clients. No two sales organisations are the same, therefore the overall program content may vary depending on the goals and the training needs of our clients. It's important to remember that before we roll out any training program, we listen to what the client wants to achieve. Then we build a sales program around the client's needs, wants, and what they perceive as the best outcomes for their salespeople.
So, Paul, it's quite possible that we may have human resource managers or sales managers listening to this interview, and they might, of course, want to know why the psychology of professional selling should be considered over any other sales training programs. Could you outline briefly some of the major benefits of your particular program?
Many sales training programs that are used in Australia use American or European sales training modules, and often these are very old and outdated, and they were never intended for the Australian market. The psychology of professional selling is an Australian sales training program, Australian case studies and examples, and teach sales principles and sales practices that will be accepted by sales professionals selling here in Australia. That's the major difference. What we've got here is an Australian program developed by Australians for Australian salespeople.